Hello, I'm Jessica from Mama Shakti Prenatal. Mama Shakti means Mama Power. Today we are talking about how to help prevent tearing the perineal tissues during childbirth. So our perineum stretches quite a bit as baby emerges through the birth canal, and there are some things that you can do during pregnancy to help keep these tissues mobile and supple so they can spread and give so baby can pass through during childbirth. So what we want to focus on is really good mobility of our pelvic bones. So our pelvic bones consist of all of these bones here, and our pelvic floor sits like a little hammock right at the bottom. When we have good mobility of our pelvic bones, this allows those pelvic floor muscles to lengthen and yield for baby to pass through the birth canal. So this can really help to prevent tearing by letting those tissues yield, by letting them move. Our pelvic tissues, and especially our pelvic floor muscles, lengthen up to 3 times more than they generally lengthen in lengthening stretches during childbirth. So when we keep those bones moving well and when we keep those muscles used to that lengthening, it really can help to prevent some perineal tearing during childbirth. So today I'm going to show you a few of my favorite ways to prevent perineal tearing during childbirth, and we're going to use two things. We're going to use a yoga ball or a resistance ball or a birth ball, whatever you may call it, and we're also going to use a small myofascial ball. Now this small myofascial ball is about 6 inches in diameter and is very firm and round, and we're going to use this to release some of the muscles that are attached to our pelvic floor muscles, because those tend to be tight on a good amount of people. And we're going to use the ball for mobility and for stretching. So first we'll start with our ball, and we're going to come to a seated position in the ball. Now, when you're checking for balls and which size works best for you, you want a ball where your knees come straight out from your hips or are a little lower. Your knees are a little lower than your hips. You want to avoid any balls that have you sitting where your knees are high like this. And we're going to work first on moving our hips and finding that mobility of the pelvis. So we're going to rock from side to side, and I'm kind of making a half moon shape. So like a semicircle here. And that's just warming up the sacrum and some of those other bones to move and yield more as we now move into circles. So nice big circles, as big as you can comfortably make them. This is really great to do if you sit for your job or if you drive a lot too. After sitting for extended periods of time, moving that pelvis is very wonderful. Keeps those tissues supple. Reverse the direction. We'll go about 8 times in both directions. Breathing the whole time. So breathing is really important to help prevent tearing during childbirth. We want to work on our breathing to reduce intra-abdominal pressure. So we breathe in through nose and out through mouth. Very nice. So after we do that, we're going to do a couple more stretches with the birth ball. Working on opening the rib cage and thoracic mobility is important to keep hips mobile and pelvis mobile. So we're going to come to the birth ball and we're going to give our weight to it. And as we do that, we're going to open one arm out to the side. Now, if that's too much, you can bring your hand to your hip and just work on lifting your elbow up to the sky instead of reaching the arm up. If this is too much, if you have any shoulder injuries or it's just uncomfortable, bring the hand to the hip, close it down, and open. And we'll do 5 on either side. Very nice. And those hips shift a little bit. Notice how your hips move as your rib cage glides open to the side. And then we'll do 5 on the other side. So supporting your upper body on the ball, and then open, close, open, close. And notice my hips move a little too with the opening Very nice. Make sure you're breathing in through nose, out through mouth. Very good. All right, so a couple more stretches here. We're going to take the ball and we're going to find ourselves in an open lunge. So this knee is pointing forward. This knee is open to a 45-degree angle, and we're using the ball for stability as we rock forward and back, forward and back. A few times on both sides, and when you get to that third time, fourth time, allow yourself to kind of lean into the lunge. Not too deeply. Take a few breaths here, in through nose, out through mouth, and then we'll do it on the other side. So this knee is pointing forward. This knee is open to a 45. We're going to roll forward and back. Ball is there for stability. Use anything under your knee. If the carpet is not enough to give you support and cushion, put a folded towel under your knee. Very nice. All right. Now our last stretch is going to be a supported child's on the ball. So I'm going to show you this from behind. I'm going to give my weight to the ball. I'm going to lean over the ball. Big toes come together, knees come nice and wide, and we sit the hips back as close to the heels as we can, and we lean over the ball, giving your upper body weight to the support of the ball. I like to hold this stretch for about 1 to 2 minutes, which would be about 10 breaths in through nose and out through mouth. Very nice. So after you've held that stretch for about 10 breaths, we're going to find our myofascial ball. Now, if you have a dryer ball that's made of wool, like those woolen dryer balls, that'll work too. And you're going to come to seated on a chair. So you're not going to do this on the ball. I'm just going to demo it on the ball. And we're going to put that ball right under where our glute meets our hamstring attachment. So right here. And we're going to just kind of roll forward and backward to release that muscle. That can be really tight on a lot of people. So like if I were sitting on a wooden chair, this would be really intense, but because I'm sitting on a ball, it gives a little bit and it's less intense. But we're just going to gently roll forward and backward, move our leg around a little so the chair won't move like the ball's moving. I'm trying to stabilize it so I can show you how to move the leg and the hips. And we work on rolling those attachments out to help release any tension that our pelvic floor muscles may be holding on to. And this will help lengthen, allow the pelvic floor to lengthen during childbirth and hopefully help prevent perineal tearing. So my name is Jessica, Mama Shakti Prenatal. I hope you enjoyed this pelvic floor movement practice to help prevent perineal tears during childbirth. If you'd like more practices like this, check out the description. I have my online course linked below.